Story 1. It's incredibly satisfying to study a language and hear a line in a song and understand it without having to translate it in your head. I listened to Japanese music before I started learning it. Adu is just a good singer. I don't have to understand anything to enjoy the sound of her voice. Story 2. Oh yes, definitely. It is even better because without understanding the lyrics, the musicality and composition become the primary elements. Sigur Rós based their music around a completely made-up language that they call Hoplandic, and their music is soul-stirring. For music with a language I do not speak, there is additional interest in how vocals are used and how words are pronounced, so there is more to hear as well. If I love the song, I tend to look up the lyrics to learn new words, cultures, and poetic phrasing that way too. Story 3. Yes, because I never listen to the lyrics. Even in my native language, I have absolutely no clue what my top songs are about. The voice is like another instrument of a song, but the most important one because I do not like music at all without it, even if I do not really listen to the words. Story 4. Sure do. Akina Nakamori is one of my favorite artists, yet I don't understand a word of Japanese. The lyrics are not that important to me, unless it is a lyrical master like Bob Dylan. The music is usually the heart of a song for me. Story 5. Because I can imagine the lyrics to mean whatever I want, I can pretend that the songs I listen to are about gay sex with graphic descriptions. Story 6. I don't speak Spanish much. I'm currently learning for the first time and love Bad Bunny. I have Demelo on every day. I've picked up many words I've learned from the songs, so it's getting there slowly but surely. Recently, I took a trip to a Spanish-speaking country and was able to order food all by myself. My friends were impressed. Story 7. People can always enjoy music without any lyrics or singing. Singing generally involves following a melody just as any other instrument. Singing with foreign lyrics can become sounds that are pleasant. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is a good example, as many who listen to it probably do not speak German. Story 8. I want to hear what other people are playing. Music is absolutely beautiful. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Story 9. 90% of the music I listen to is written or performed in languages I cannot speak. However, emotions are expressed nonetheless. Music is its own language and does not really need a translation. Soukous, highlife, reggae, Gacy, Korean, Malian, and classical are just some of the amazing bodies of music that speak to me. Story 10. There is a ton of music with incomprehensible lyrics, even if you understand the language. Pick any death metal song as an example. Story 11. Yes, Japanese, Korean, Catalan, Chinese, Swedish, although I do understand most of it, Portuguese. So that would include, in order, one example per language. 1. Japanese, perfume. 2. Korean twice. 3. Catalan, Alexia Hampartsumian. 4. Chinese, Sadingbin. 5. Swedish, Bo Kasper's Orchestra. 6. Portuguese, Sabrina Malheiros. And my absolute favorite non-English language artist, whom I listen to a lot, were Cho Mandarin. Story 12. I am an English speaker but love listening to music in French. Something about the flow speaks to my mind. I always look up a translation of the lyrics so I know what I am listening to. Story 13. Yeah, I really like Lluvia by Charlie Garcia and Lorando from Mulholland Drive, which is where I heard it first. A good song is a good song whether you understand it or not. Story 14. I listen to the Aguila channel on Sirius XM every day. It features Mexican-based music, and I do not understand one word. However, you can tell they are telling great stories of life, love, and family. I listen because it makes me happy, and I cannot help but dance. Story 15. Yes, French and German mostly. I like the feel of the instrumental part. I also like songs that incorporate other languages, such as Eyes Without a Face by Billy Idol and Hold On Tight by Electric Light Orchestra. Story 16. Yes, quite often. To me, language is just another musical instrument. It is the same reason I like classical music or instrumental pieces. I don't even like lyrics I understand because I will think about them. Story 17. Yes, Rammstein, they sound fantastic, heavy and different. Go Germany. If Godsmack were a different language, same thing, they sound great and are another heavy rock band. Story 18. Some of my favorites. Kunanjani Na by Vusi Malasila. Sukora by Ali Farka Toure and Rai Cooter. DB Rek by Ismail Lol. Mixed with English. Asimbananga by Johnny Clegg and Savuka. Story 19. Sigur Rós is incredible. I do not need to understand what he is singing about to appreciate the beauty of their music. Story 20. Sure. It is no different from listening to music without singing. The voice is just another instrument. I do not have to understand the lyrics to enjoy the music itself. Why limit myself from a whole world of music just because of that? Story 21. Yes. I have always had problems hearing lyrics, so I learned to just appreciate the sounds, the voices, and the music. Story 22. I, for one, do not understand Spanish at all and do not plan on learning it. However, Latin music is amazing. Although I do not understand it, the beats themselves are very engaging. I hear it so much on repeat that I can actually sing the songs word for word with the right pronunciation, even though I do not know what I am saying. It speaks to my soul, I guess. On the other hand, French or Japanese music is different. I have learned both languages at a beginner level, so I understand about 70% of what the French songs mean and a little bit of the Japanese ones. It is enjoyable to try to piece it together. For example, I hear words like cute and rain. So maybe the song is saying how cute she looks in the rain. Story 23. I like songs that would be perfectly fine as instrumentals, and the voice is a bonus. Plus, I am somehow just lyric deaf and often have to read lyrics along with a song to fully understand it. So give me all the Finnish metal. It is all the same to me. Story 24. Sort of. I listen to music in Spanish and Korean. I can speak both languages but not fluently, so I can only understand so much. I enjoy the beats, the singers, and find the tunes catchy and, in many cases, very danceable. Story 25. I can listen to it without any problem and enjoy it. Most of the time, I choose not to listen to it because I appreciate lyrics and I love to rap and sing. I find it much easier to learn songs in English. That being said, I discovered a Spanish song a couple of months ago, and it has become my favorite song currently. It took me much longer to learn the lyrics, but I did, and it is now the only song in another language where I know all the words. Story 26. The flow of the language is usually important. I am also not a big fan of listening to music just for the lyrical content. It really depends. It is good to expand your palette for music as well. You never know. You could find your favorite new artist who does not even speak or sing in your native language. Story 27. Punjabi guy and I love listening to Soviet parade songs. There is something very energetic and emotional about them. Story 28. The excitement and beauty of the music are enhanced by the singers' voices, which are as important as the instrumental parts. Story 29. Honestly, sometimes I wish I did not understand the language in some of the songs I love. The feel of a song and the lyrics do not always go together. Story 30. Yeah, I have songs on my Spotify playlist in Celtic, English, Spanish, Japanese, and German. The beat and melody are what initially attracted me, and the more I listen, the more I am able to sing along. I am still not sure what is being said, but I do not care. Story 31. For me, music is about how it makes you feel. I don't really pay attention to the lyrics. We watch the Eurovision Song Contest every year, and there is usually a song or two that ends up on our household playlist, often in a European language. The beat, tone, and overall rhythm are what draw me in. Story 32. 100%. It is everything about music that makes you feel, not just the words. I can hear the intent, and if I want to know more, it gives me an opportunity to search and learn more about a language that is not native to me. Story 33. Excuse me, I would like to introduce to you a beautiful song. No joke. This song touches a part of me I did not know I had. Story 34. Yes, in some specific cases. Sometimes it is because the band's lyrics are incidental to the melody and overall sound, as with Sigur Rós. Sometimes it is because I traveled to a country and heard a particular artist enough that I decided to pick up their albums, such as certain Italian, Japanese, and Greek artists. Sometimes it is because the music is more about the culture and rhythms, so I do not really care about the lyrics like Teneruan and Middle Eastern music. And sometimes it is Latin music, such as Bach. Story 35. Yes, I realized at some point that I do not understand all the lyrics to songs in English, my native language, because singers do not enunciate. The difference between, say, Pearl Jam and a song in an actual foreign language is pretty small. So I began seeking out good music from around the world. I occasionally have the irrational fear that if I understood the lyrics, they might be talking about drowning puppies or beating up old people. But mostly I just enjoy the melodies and rhythms. Story 36. I have been a huge Eurovision fan since I was a child. Throughout my life, I have listened to music in diverse languages that I do not understand. I have even learned the lyrics phonetically to a few of them so that I can sing along. I can proudly sing 2 songs in Serbian, 1 in Ukrainian, 1 in Moldovan, a few in French, a couple in German, and a few in Icelandic, Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish. I am working on learning a couple in Spanish and Finnish. Good music is good music regardless of language. Some languages have a better rhythmic flow than others. The songs just work better in whatever language they are in rather than English. I also find beauty in languages. Story 37. French rap sometimes just tickles my brain. I am not French, I cannot speak the language, and I also do not like rap that much. Story 38. Yes, Spanish is my first language. I also speak English, Italian, Arabic, and Portuguese. What draws me to these languages is the rhythm and the instruments. Italian is very similar to Spanish, so it is not too hard to understand sometimes. Story 39. The rhythm, how the musicians are in sync with one another, the timbre, tone, and other unique qualities of a singer's voice. In musicians and singers, I am drawn to passionate delivery. Story 40. I listen to some rap and I like it because I enjoy the beats and musical ability, but honestly, I have no idea what some of it means. It's like a foreign language to me. For example, I love the song, Welcome to Atlanta. Here are the first part of the lyrics. Welcome to Atlanta, jackin' hammers and vogues. Back to the mackin' and jackin' the clothes. Adolescent packin' of 4. A knock on the door. Who is it? I would happen to know. The one with the flow, who did it? It was me, I suppose. JD in the rolls and Ludacris in the cut supreme. Skating down old Nat, gat tucked and leaned. I split your spleen, as a matter of fact, I split your team. No blood on the sneaks. Gotta keep it so my kicks are clean. I get the cream, cops see me flick my beams. I'm allergic, so doctor prescribed antihistamines. Oink oink, pig pig, do away with the pork. Only silverware I need is a steak knife and a fork. Did you forget your manners? I'm Bruce with banners. Ludicrous, Johnny Rockets when I shoot the cannon. The woolly mammoth, saber-tooth, bite your tongue. I won't stop until I'm rich as them whites will come. I pulled up in the Black Lotus, your plaques are bogus. So I stripped them off the wall. Waiting for my cue to corner pocket 8. Story 41. Yes, I do. Music is the universal language. I am a linguist and listen to music in the languages I have studied. As another commenter pointed out, it is very satisfying to finally understand what you are listening to. On the other hand, I have also started studying languages by listening to music in those languages first. Story 42. I look for sounds that fit my current mood. A majority of the time, I find things that English cannot express. I listen to French, Dutch, Mandarin, sometimes Japanese or Korean. Absolute hits lately for my melancholy include Het is el laat toch bijrekun. We doen wat we kunnen bijbrof. Yen Yuan by Joker Shui. There are many more that I cannot recall off the top of my head right now, but these are just the ones I have listened to lately. Story 43. I like it when people do not know what the sign I am using means. Could have a very offensive meaning and nobody would know. Story 44. Honestly, just the tone, not knowing exactly what they are saying. Most songs are ruined because, in my opinion, the lyrics are dumb. I will not lie, I looked up lyrics from the songs I listen to, and they are dumb, but the singers are great and the vocals they have are too good to give up. Overall, they make good sounds. Story 45. The main reason I listen to music is just for the sounds, not necessarily the meaning of the words. It is not always focused on deep lyrics, even if it is in a language I understand. Story 46. Yes. I listen mostly to metal. Most metal is not carried by vocals. It acts like another instrument. Also, English is not my native language, so it is easy for me to ignore lyrical content. For example, I do not really care that the title song of Behemoth's latest album has cringeworthy lyrics. It sounds good. Not to mention, you can barely understand what is being sung in extreme metal. For example, I listen to Celeste and Vehemence. I do not know any French. My poor knowledge of German does not stop me from enjoying Canon and Fever. Story 47. I listen to Spanish and Portuguese-speaking music a lot, especially when I feel disconnected from the world and when I am heavily depressed. I have obsessive-compulsive disorder and find that listening to music I do not understand helps me quiet intrusive thoughts. I am generally a lyric person, so I find it funny that I often listen to music I do not understand. Story 48. I end up listening to a lot of Japanese music, not because I am specifically drawn to foreign music, but because I find a lot of Japanese music appealing. Story 49. Sigur Rós sings in a made-up language much of the time, and it is gorgeous. Sometimes, singers who sing in English cannot be understood. Story 50. Not really, no. English and German are what I usually listen to. The only exception is Måneskin. Some of their songs are in Italian, and I can accept that anyway. Story 51. Personally, when I listen to music that is not in English, I mainly listen to music from countries where I have a family background. For me, it is Croatia, but I also listen to music from other countries with a focus on Croatian music. Story 52. Yes, when doing work that requires brain power, music without lyrics helps me focus. Sometimes I listen to foreign language music to mix things up because lyrics I can understand are distracting. Also, when dealing with my first breakup, I remember listening to a foreign language playlist when I did not want to be made to cry by song lyrics. Story 53. I do not know if people are aware, but there is a very popular piece from the anime series Akane ga Kill called Le Chant de Roma. What is interesting is that it sounds like a language, but it is entirely made up. It is very mythical and mysterious, as if it is a tale of a fallen hero who has returned. Story 54. I really enjoy some 1980s and 1990s Japanese city pop. It reminds me of older shows I watched, or I am simply vibing to the beat. One of my favorites is Plastic Love by Maria Takeuchi. Story 55. Yes. I cannot follow along with lyrics even in English that well, so it being in another language makes more sense to me. I am not trying to figure out what is being said or what story or point they are trying to tell or make. Their voices are just another instrument to me. Story 56. Yes, mostly Japanese and usually from rhythm games. I am drawn in because of those rhythm games. There is also some Latin in there, mostly from boss music in video games. In fact, most music I listen to is from video games. Story 57. Yes. Somehow, I can remember the lyrics better when sung in other languages compared to songs sung in English. However, I cannot remember other languages as well in general speech when talking. Additionally, I think I have heard better vocals that are more unique in other languages than in English. That is just my experience. Story 58. Of course. To me, lyrics are secondary to the feel and melody of the song. I can appreciate lyrics, but I feel my needs are satisfied in that aspect. I can explore new music without needing to understand what they are singing about. There is not really anything that draws me to the lyrics. If the song sounds good, I will like it. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.